just chat for an hour and have some fun, and then we can go back to being miserable. What is up, party people? Welcome back to Saturdays and Seltzers. This week it is Saturdays and Steph Smalls because Steph is back. I think you're my first repeat guest, actually.
I fucking love that. That's fantastic.
I know. Me too. I feel like our relationship is going to the next
It is. We're taking, I guess, can't wait to flirt with you for another hour and just chat. I feel like I already know you too, so it's funny. I feel like
I know.
when we meet in person, it's gonna be we've known each other for a million years.
When do I get to meet the parents?
Pretty soon. I feel like we're there. We're right there.
Me too. We are there. So if you are new here, we do a segment every week called HLH, which is your high of the week, low of the week, and your unexpected hero of the week. Steph, what was your high of the week?
Okay. Honestly, and this is I used to never like trash TV that much, but reality TV is my new vibe now. I don't know what it is. Since I started fully working in sports, I'm I need to shut my brain off and just vibe alone. And I'm
yep.
The Bachelor was back and I was so happy. I'm even I don't know if I'm vibing yet with The Bachelor. I don't know if we vibe, but I'm happy that I can just sit and just watch some crappy TV for a little bit.
Me too. Okay, so that's my hero, which my shitty TV show of choice is Love Island. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yes.
Okay, so I just finished the new Australia season, and then the UK season came out the first or something, yesterday or whatever, and I'm already caught up on this episode 3, but I'm kind of sad, and I tweeted about this yesterday for absolutely no reason because I know nobody gives a fuck, but I follow this farmer on TikTok that I'm obsessed with, and he's on this season, and I kind of hate him so far, and it makes me sad.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I need to watch it too because then we can have book club kind of, but not.
Yes.
We can talk about
yeah. We should do that. I watched maybe 2 seasons of the Bachelor Bachelorette thing, and I really only like the Bachelorette seasons because I like to watch all the dudes.
Yes.
I think that stuff's funny.
Yeah, this one's I don't know. And I'm already they're making it a little bit too dramatic. One of the girls, it was episode 2 yesterday. They already met she already met the parents. And I'm what are we doing?
Episode 2?
You don't need to the date was literally they went in a helicopter and then they got off and then they went to his childhood house and there was a barbecue for his mom's birthday. And I was no, this is weird. It's too much. There's a system.
On TV, yeah, on TV, that's a lot. I don't know about you, but I have a super casual family. So my mom has never thought anything of it if I just brought a random guy that I was recently my mom's not like that at all, but she's also a single parent. So it's just super casual.
Yeah, I feel my mom definitely met guys I was just hooking up with and
yeah.
She'd be visiting for the weekend and I'm oh, this is Brian.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Brian? I'm it's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Come another weekend and be yeah, this is John.
Yeah. Yeah, so I get it, but if I were on TV or if it was someone I was taking seriously, I would be yeah, that's a no from me, dog.
Especially uncles and aunts. I don't know, now it's too far.
Yeah. My high was yesterday. Sports betting officially opened in Massachusetts in person. So exciting. It's not legal on the apps until the beginning of March, but it's here, which is super fun. Especially because, we're big sports gambling people. It's growing, it's expanding. It's been on the ballot for a really long time and it finally got passed here. And they threw an event yesterday and it was awesome. Even though I was in very tall shoes all day, I had a good time and I'm glad that it is here.
You looked fantastic too.
Thank you. Thanks. The girls helped pick out the outfit. I was I'm interviewing a bunch of celebrities, but I don't know how much boob is too much boob.
Yeah. Where is the line? I never know either. I'm
Me either.
I guess dress code has always been something I struggled with for a while.
Yeah.
It's appropriate and what's not appropriate.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's we work in sports and it's a dude's world. And if you dress like you are confident in your body in any way, it's men will slander you or you'll get slut shamed or you're only having your titties out because you're interviewing Julian Edelman or whatever. And it's no, I just like this outfit and it makes me feel good. And when I feel confident, I feel I do a good job at work. So I'm sorry that there aren't penis enhancers like there are push-up bras, so fuck off.
I apologize that we didn't get there yet, but this is where we're at. And I have
Yeah. And it's like, if I want to have my titties out, I want to have my titties out. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, I don't think it should be as big of a deal as it turns into.
Nope. All right. So we kind of gossiped a little bit before the show about how there is like some collective energy or something about how this week has been shitty. So I feel like we have lows. What is your low?
Okay, my low is, and I'm not trying to start beef with a baby, but I have beef with a baby.
Okay. Yeah, fuck them kids.
Because like, okay, so I am the interim CCO when my boss goes on paternity leave. This was supposed to happen in 2 weeks. Baby was coming a little bit early, not too early. Let you guys know, we're gonna blah, blah, blah. Long story short, then Sunday night, we get a text. It's like, I'm laying down and I'm like calmer than normal on a Sunday. Like, I'm cool. Like, I'm just like chilling out. I clean my house. Like, I had
probably because your team wasn't playing for the first time in 18 weeks.
My anxiety is low. Like, we're vibing. And I lay down to like go to sleep and I just get a little text. It's like, paternity leave starts now, babe. We're getting induced in the morning. And I'm like, not really what I was going for this week, but I guess we're just gonna like ride it out. And then it's also
Super Bowl's not next week. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I'll like figure it out. I guess we're just gonna like roll with the punches here. But yeah, me and that baby, I don't know how I feel yet.
I could definitely fist fight a child.
I probably could.
Okay, this sounds so bad. And like, I don't dislike kids, but I do dislike kids. I like well-behaved kids. I like my siblings' kids. I like people like that I know's kids. But random kids in public, I fucking hate them. Like, I'm sorry, but I do.
I would pay an exorbitant amount of money to like take an airplane that there were no children.
Yes. Yes, I was just talking about this.
Like I would be, and I don't think that should be a big deal. Like I know parents get like really upset. Like this is a sensitive subject. You'd be surprised, but it's like, I just don't have kids and I just like want to go to the airport and get on a plane and like not have to deal with other people's kids. Like,
yes.
But yes. Not very like well behaved.
Yeah. And it's like, I get that there are certain situations where your kids have to fly or like whatever, but I would spend extra to not fly with a child because quite frankly, your permanent pet sperm is not my problem.
Yeah, it's not. Genuinely not. I'm not, and I'm also like not there yet. I don't know if I'll there, but like yeah, like it's not, it almost like freaks me out a little bit. Like I don't know.
I've said this a million times, but I just will not be pushing a watermelon through this straw, man.
Yeah, it's literally no thing. And like the thing with babies is they don't understand anything. And I just like I don't what do you mean? Like you can't go to the bathroom on your own. Like, it's so annoying. And it's so dumb because like we were babies, but still, like I don't know.
I was a nanny of 5 for a year and a half. Like I love kids. I'm great with kids. I don't know what switched when I got like into my early 20s about just I don't have the patience for it anymore. I don't want it. I haven't wanted it for a long time. I think I'd be a great stepmom because I'm like I could be like the cool parent who has like less responsibilities. Like if someone dies, like that's not my kid, but like I can like be in the kid's life.
You're like in between like the cool but also have like motherly. Like, yeah, I get that. I think you go in your like 20s and you either like are like I need a baby literally right now, or they start like no thank you, and then that maybe that switch comes back. I don't know, we'll find out.
I'm about to be like a little like transparent as like a woman though for a minute though. We're both like in our late 20s, like early getting to our like 30s, whatever, and it's like for a long time I struggled with the thought of like, am I broken because I don't want this, or because like I don't have this, or I don't have the desire to have this? And I haven't for a really long time. And it's like something that a lot of people don't talk about. Like a lot of people talk about, you know, like their infertility journeys and stuff like that, which is like also a really like a struggle I can't even imagine. Yeah. But it's like, I almost like, there's these life setting stones that like just seem to kind of go for the course of time where like you go to college and you get married and you buy a house and you have a baby and you get a dog. And it's like, I didn't do those things the way that like most people do. And I don't plan to, but it makes you feel like you're broken and like, is something wrong with me that I don't want this step in life? And it's just, I don't know. It's like that's what society expects of you. And the fact that like women can go to college and have jobs and like live normal lives right now. It's just like we're that transition period. And there's like a lot of negative thought around it, not only from society, but yourself too sometimes.
Yeah. And you start to think about because you're like, what's wrong with me that I don't want like that I'm at brunch right now and like everyone's obsessing over like wanting to get married and talking about their weddings. And like, well, I'm happy for everyone and that's fantastic. I just like am not there. I'm not close to there. And I just don't want, I don't know. I don't know what it is in society, like puts, the expectation is that, right. Like you said, you go to college, you meet someone, you guys get married. There's like all these little like checkpoints you have to get to, but I like, everyone should be able to do it at their own pace. And I've never, and then it's crazy because then you start to get into your late 20s, like early 30s, and then you start getting kind of looked down on. It's like it turns into a negative thing. And it's like, first you want me to be an independent woman, then you want me to get married and have kids. Now you're looking down on me because I didn't want those things. Like, no, it's not. It needs to be like that a little bit. It's just different times. Like, and I love that for everyone, but it's not for everyone.
And it's super tough being like a Southerner, like a Southern woman too, because it's like you look at like the ring before spring stuff in college, and like a lot of my kids are on or a lot of my friends are on like their third kid or like whatever. One of my friends has 4 kids on purpose at 26 years old. Like
me too. And I'm like, I can't even imagine my life. And like, maybe that some of that does come with like the industry we're in. And like, I recognize that that's probably a little bit, but also there's a lot of women in the industry that already have babies and that's awesome too. But I think that like the negative connotation, it's like, oh my God, people are like, this is what I hate. You know what people ask me? It's like, you don't want kids? Just because I don't want kids yet, first of all, doesn't mean I don't want kids. It's just like, we're not there yet. We'll figure it out when we get there.
I love when people like look down at me and I'm like, would you rather me have a kid because it's like something society thinks I should do, even though I don't want it? Like why would I bring a life into this world that I don't want?
I was there was this TikTok I saw yesterday and it was like some girl almost like bragging about having kids in her 20s, and then it was a stitch and the girl was like, or maybe I just didn't want to change diapers in my 20s, and like it's okay to like do things whatever way. Like I'm not judging anyone that did want to do that, but I just never, it's just not my jam.
I'm only judging the people that are judging me for not doing it.
I'm judging you back like 20 times harder, I promise.
Yeah. Okay, that was like an important tangent that I think we needed to go on for a second. So your hero, if you don't know what your hero is, it's something unexpectedly good that happened to you. So Steph, what's your hero this week?
Yes. So my mom is my hero this week, which is so fun. This part's not fun. My grandma passed in October and my mom has kind of been, in this place in her life where she wasn't doing anything because my grandma was sick. So a lot of her life revolved around that. She doesn't have a significant other. She texted me. She's like, we're going to Hawaii. I'm booking it. We're going for grandma's birthday. And we're going to go for 14 days. I'm going to pay for everyone. We're going to use the inheritance and we're just going to go to Hawaii. And I'm like, I love this era that you're in, whatever you're doing. Absolutely. Like
that's so epic. Good for her, dude.
Instead of being sad, like, let's just go celebrate because grandma always wanted to go to Hawaii. And I'm like, that's the vibes I need, mom. Like that.
If I'm going to be sad, I'm going to do it in Hawaii.
I'm going to cry with pina coladas. Like I can fuck with that for sure.
That's so good. I already shared my hero, so I'm going to share my low, which some people might think this is funny and some people might be offended by this. And if you get offended easily, please either click out of this episode immediately or, I don't know, cry. So, and I'm so sorry that I'm going to talk about this, but I'm going to because it was just, if you are a young woman in news or sports reporting, please learn from me right now. So yesterday I had a one-on-one interview with Ocho Cinco at the opening of the new sports book. And you know how like when you come in from a segment, you have to like kind of introduce who you're with or whatever. And it's not that nobody knows who Ocho Cinco, like people know who he is, but it's like, I still have to do it. And so I was like, do you want to go by Chad or do you want to go by Ocho Cinco? Which is a valid fucking question for a TV segment. Thank you. And he was like, I mean, either is fine, but nobody's called me Chad in like a decade. And I was like, well, what does your mom call you? And he goes, my mom died. Oh. And I was already recording the segment.
I'm trying not to laugh. Oh my God.
I recovered. It was fine. I think we cut it out of the segment so Okay. But I just thought that was such a safe question, and it was apparently not. So unless you know that someone's parent is alive and you are interviewing them, don't ask that
Oh
question.
my God, that is like, and you were like, this is a good recovery. Well, like, what does your mom call you? And it's like, yeah, well, I'm like,
and so I looked up when she passed away. It was my birthday 2 years ago.
man, okay.
So
like,
R.I.P. to Chad Ochocinco's mom. Yeah. I'm so sorry I had to talk about this. Chad, I pray to God you never see this. But it was like one of those like horrific career moments. So if someone can learn from me, please do. But at the same time, like there is a little bit of humor in it if you're fucked up like I am.
Yeah, it's a little bit funny. It's like they would write that into like some kind of like TV show, honestly.
Ugh. So that was my day yesterday. So you texted me right before the show, before we get into some championship weekend recaps and some other NFL notes, that you were drinking. We are a drinking show. What are we drinking?
Okay, this is very unlike me, but there was like this like white Zinfandel in my cabinet and I just grabbed it. But I owed you from last time that I was here a Jaeger shot because I didn't have one the last time I was on. So I did bring a Jaeger shot so that I could do it for you because I felt bad that you did it alone last time. So I'm gonna do a Jaeger shot for you.
I think I might have like I'll do a shot with you. Give me 2 seconds. Let me see what I can chef up.
Let's see what you can brew up here.
We're Jaeger girls. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, this is terrible. I don't have any Jaeger, and I am like the biggest Jaeger girl ever. But I'm gonna put some like hair on my nuts right now.
Yes, I have
warm tequila. I'm gonna pull it.
Like the most wasted show ever. So I literally had tornadoes like a couple of days ago. Okay, cheers to you. You're just as like it's so smooth. Like I don't get the complaints from people, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why I like that, but never mix tequila and grape.
Oh yeah, no. Oh. How are those?
They're so good.
I need to get them.
They're so good. I will say, not to be controversial, but the poppy drinks are better.
Okay.
It depends. It depends what you're into. Me personally, I like that they're like supposed to be like soda flavors because I'm a Diet Coke whore.
Okay.
And I try that, like I'm like, ugh. I'm like dying. And I try not to drink Diet Coke because I know that it's so terrible for you. So it's like the fact that it's like a prebiotic soda that tastes like a Dr. Pepper is fire. But if you want something like fruity and more refreshing, these are
okay.
The orange soda and the grape ones are bussin'.
I saw this girl like making this like creamsicle drink with the orange one, and I was like, I am definitely going to need to get my hands on that.
Fire. Yeah, the orange one's really good. I think I usually hate like fake grape flavored things, but I love this one.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. Don't get the root beer though. It has a weird aftertaste.
Ugh. And I don't want to ruin root beer for me at all. So
yeah, it's true. All right. So moving into our sports stuff, because at the end of the day, this is a sports podcast. The big news today that everyone is talking about is that Tom Brady finally retired again. Everyone was kind of, is he going to go to San Francisco? Is he going to stay? Is he going to go to the Titans? Is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? We have our answer. I don't think he's going to change his mind again. You can't change your mind again. Tom's done. What are your thoughts?
Okay. Yes, Tom is done. Like, I think it's like that video was like, you know what it reminded me?
So sad though. He looked
really
he looked like someone ran his puppy over in front of him.
You know what he looked like? And I was just saying this to my coworkers is like, you know how dogs, this is like turning into a really morbid you know how dogs go like somewhere alone to die? Like, and they go like under a tree. Like, it was like Marley and me, like Brady's like alone on the beach. Like the dog is going to die alone. And that's all I could think of while I was watching it because it was so it was sad, and I don't think it was scripted. I think it was like very much But like I couldn't stop thinking about like how like dogs go like alone to a field or like under a tree.
No, I'm gonna cry. Mom, come pick me up.
Like, oh my God, this is Brady and me. This could be a movie.
Brady and me. No. Oh, I'm like so happy for him. But at the same time, it's so time. And like, I'm, rumored to be Tom Brady's girlfriend or whatever. But yeah, according to my mother. But I did see like a lot of people, I feel like not in good taste, talking about like, do you think Tom wanted to get a divorce and the easiest way for him to do it was to play another season of football?
Oh my gosh. I mean, like
that's some lore, but it's kind of funny.
It's a little bit funny. I'm trying not to laugh because it's like, I know everyone's like very sensitive, like we shouldn't like talk about other people's relationships, but like maybe.
Like, I mean, we work in entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy way. And now he's so free. It's almost like he set this up for like a little bit of despair so that he could like get out and just like live his best life.
Yeah, like Tom doesn't know how to like live life without football. He probably hasn't done it since he was like in kindergarten. And like, it's not like and I'm sure he's like, I know that he's like a great dad. Like I see him out with the kids all the time. He's always with them and stuff, but like he's never been like full-time dad mode is what I'm trying to say. So it's like, and I don't think that Tom can like just do like one or two things at a time. Like, yeah, he's got the brand. Yeah, he's got the kids, but he just like gives me that energy that he needs to have his hand in 50 pots and be doing 80 different things and be the best at all of them at all times. So now I'm like, I feel like Tom's going to go like a little stir crazy, not like having to be somewhere all the time.
I'm like interested to see what era he steps into now that he like doesn't have football. Where does Giselle live now? Is she still?
They live across the street from each other.
Okay. Like I just like, feel like there is a very low chance that they're not still banging though.
No, because she's dating her jujitsu instructor.
Oh, that's right, the young guy.
I was telling someone today that I could see them doing their own thing for like the next 15 years. And then maybe when Vivi gets married, they like rekindle their romance at like Vivi's wedding. And then they like grow old together and like whatever.
Probably. Like I feel like they will. They give me very like get back together vibes.
Mhm.
Like I just where you like know that you're not gonna be you kind of like Tom, I don't know. Tom is kind of he seems like a girlfriend guy. Like I feel like his next relationship, we're not going to see him be like a serial dater. Like he's probably going to do a relationship. It's probably going to be longer. I don't know if I see him getting married again. But I think he will probably date and then I see them getting back together for sure.
Do you see him like dating someone younger or someone his age?
I actually see him dating someone his age. Is that weird?
Me too. Yeah, I really do. I feel like Tom's in like I think the era he's about to step in is like just your normal, like as normal as you can be, your normal like 40-year-old dad who just recently got divorced, who do I think he'll date someone like relatively famous? Yes, just because when you're that high profile, I think you have to, but probably recently divorced, like has a couple kids too, like relates to him. Right. And they'll ride off into the sunset for a couple decades. And then at Vivi's wedding, whatever.
They get back together. Yeah. It'll be like when my dad and my mom got divorced, like he went like a little bit younger, but not like young enough where it's like, oh my God, that like old man is dating a young girl. So maybe he'll go like a little bit younger. But again, like I think it's gonna be someone that's again, like the same type of status and probably is also divorced, probably also has kids, like very similar. Cause I can imagine that Tom Brady is a complicated guy. Like how do you date like the greatest football player of all time?
Yeah. I either see that or I see him dating like a badass, like 35-year-old, like business, like mogul, like wib kind of woman with no kids, doesn't want kids, doesn't want to get married.
Yes, it's one or the other.
Like they're either gonna have to be like a bad bitch robot or like the most like relatable woman of all time.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited to see how this unravels.
I love that we're just like basically planning their entire future for them. Like this is what's gonna happen.
I can be your therapist. I can figure this out.
This is big J journalism. Okay. So that was the biggest football news, I feel like, since the championship games last week. So
Yeah.
the NFC championship game was first. I have a couple notes. I'm sure you do as well because you're an NFC kind of gal. But the San Francisco quarterback woes from start to finish. And at the time, we didn't know. We knew that Brock Purdy was hurt. We didn't really know that it was his UCL, what have you. This kind of begs the question from me, like, if you have to go to your fourth string quarterback, like, I get that there's, like, everyone gets hurt. People get unlucky. You know, you have games where, like, you lose a lot of people. But it's like, have we ever seen this in the NFL? And, like, does this kind of maybe tie into how Kyle Shanahan, like, play calls for quarterback safety? Like, I don't know.
What the fuck is going on over there? Like, it's
I don't know.
Is it just a weird coincidence, which is like probably the way that I'm leaning, but it's crazy to get to this point. Like Jimmy G, fine, you're gonna have Trey Lance, then Trey Lance gets hurt, then we have Jimmy G, then you have Jimmy G get hurt, then Brock Purdy, who is like quite literally Mr. Irrelevant. For him to get hurt in that game is insane. Like maybe the NFL is scripted because I don't think you can make that like that's fucking crazy. I mean, there has to be something that is going on. How is that even possible? How do you go through that many quarterbacks?
And then, like, is it Josh Johnson?
For him to get hurt, I was just about to say, like, for him to then go in, then you put Purdy back in.
Well, he was in concussion protocol too, and they had Christian McCaffrey fucking taking snaps for a minute.
And then what's the game plan there? Because if you can win that game, like, are you just gonna fucking get Christian McCaffrey hurt? Like, what are we doing here?
I don't know. But obviously with like the Brady news, because he was one of the guys to potentially be rumored to go to San Francisco because you have Trey Lance on a rookie deal, Jimmy G's gone, and you have Brock Purdy on a rookie deal. Josh Johnson, obviously, he's been with like what 14 NFL teams, I think they said on the broadcast.
He's a homie hopper.
But it's like now you have two, and it's Brock Purdy, who has a torn UCL, and you have Trey Lance, who's also coming back from a fucking nasty injury recovery. How do you not try and find a vet? Like, do you try and find a vet? Who do you roll with in that situation? Like, I truly do not know.
They probably go and sign like a random one of the random free agent quarterbacks that are out there. Like
I think it's Carson Wentz. I think it's
Bridgewater. Maybe you sign this in, but I think that they just let the two of them duel it out. But Trey Lance ultimately probably ends up getting the job as much as like Brock Purdy has our hearts. But I think that again, like everyone's so easy to knock Trey Lance. He really didn't get that much time. Like he got hurt very early on. Like there wasn't an opportunity to develop at all. And unfortunately for franchises that have been quite spoiled in the past, like you haven't seen your team go through like a hard times like a lot of franchises have. It's gonna take time. Like Trey Lance is like it's not gonna be an overnight thing. Like maybe you guys don't win a lot of games next year. I think like the Steelers, for example, that team hasn't like not the last time that team came in fourth place in the AFC North is like 1999. Like most of their fans literally were not even.
Mike Tomlin hasn't had a losing season in his career.
Literally, like they don't know. And I think the 49ers in some ways are also another one of those fan bases where you've had a lot of success in your franchise. You've also never gotten to like a deep, horrible point. So I think that like 49ers are just going to have to buckle up. You're lucky you have a really great defense. There's also so many pieces on offense. So like Trey Lance just needs a minute. So I think they'll have Purdy and maybe we see them like competing in training camp and maybe I don't know.
Well, so my thing, I obviously don't believe in the cap because I think the cap's fake.
It is fake.
But there are rumors that Aaron Rodgers like wants to, I don't think it's a rumor that he wants to be out of Green Bay, but it's like he could be looking at other places if they're willing to deal him. And it's like he's from the area. That team is already loaded. If you put Aaron Rodgers on that team, it's kind of a guaranteed Super Bowl in my opinion. And if it's not, that's fucking embarrassing as fuck.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't believe in the cap. How do you get him there on a 1 or 2 year deal, win a Super Bowl and retire on top? You know what I mean?
That's the direction. And then, cause I feel like that's a great landing spot for him. The other place like that would come to mind is like maybe the Jets, but I feel like the 49ers can do it in a way more responsible way than the Jets can. Like the Jets are going to do something stupid to acquire him. Whereas like the 49ers could do it in like a somewhat ignoring what they did to get Trey Lance, but like I think they could do it in a way that's not as like silly goosey as like the Jets.
Yeah. I'm just not sure that he would leave us like I think that the Jets have a better defense, but the situation in Green Bay on offense isn't that much of like a jump for me for him to like feel secure and like, hey, I can win here before I like go out, for him to do that, in my opinion.
Is like, I would love that. Wow.
I think that I would hate it because he bothers me, but I would be happy for everyone else on that team.
Yes, he's very irritating. 100%.
Yeah.
Like he does bug me a lot, but
yeah.
He is. I don't know. The 49ers are a team. Like they will make a move for a quarterback if they want to. If, like,
yeah.
The direction they're gonna go.
Yeah. So not to not give the Eagles their flowers because they deserve them. I had in here to ask you if you feel like if Jimmy G played in this game healthy, do you think that it would have been a better game than it was? Because I don't.
You don't? Okay.
I think it would have been closer, but I think the Eagles still kind of.
I still think the Eagles would have won, but I think it would have been much closer. Honestly, it's crazy that we're going to get to the point where, like, I think the Eagles are fantastic, but, like, they're going to get to Kansas City, and it's, like, one of the best competitors that they're going to have seen, like, almost the entire season. And that's nothing to knock the Eagles. It's just, it is what it is. But, yeah, I think it's still, the Eagles still would have came up on top. Like, they're just functioning in a way that, like, any team would desire to. It's working across the board. I mean, you look at the stats, though, like, it's crazy that they dominated that way. Like, they were able to do that, and Jalen only had, like, 120 passing yards. Devontae Smith was their top receiver. He only had, like, I think it was, like, 30-something, and Gainwell was their top rusher with, like, 38 yards. So it's, like, they didn't, like, dominate either. So it's crazy that the score looked like that. But you can't do shit when, like, the San Francisco's defense was so fucking tired by the end of it. But Eagles still, they're that team. They're it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I do like Kansas City better in this matchup, but they are fucking hurt. Like, they're hurt. Like, I have some notes about Mahomes in a second, and we can talk about the Super Bowl, but it's like, I don't know, man. I think that they are I'm worried for them just from like a health and safety perspective, like getting guys out on the field to be able to play a game, because I'm looking at the injury report right now. And Mahomes isn't on here for February 1st, which I mean, I guess he's going to play no matter what. Like, what's the point of even trying to play chess or checkers about it? Right. But Willie Gay's on here. L'Jarius Sneed's on here. McCole Hardman's on here. Kadarius Toney, Juju Smith-Schuster, Trey Smith, obviously Edwards-Helaire's on injury reserve. And it's just like, that's a lot of people. Like, and a lot of your weapons. And your number one weapon in Patrick Mahomes is already hurt. And it's like, you wouldn't be able to tell that from last week's game, the way that he played, but like, it is what it is. So we can talk about the AFC Championship game now. I think that he was an absolute dog in that game. There were plays that he took off on where I was like, holy fucking shit, like, how is he doing this? I know that he is like shot the fuck up with drugs right now, but oh my God.
I honestly, and I'm going to be honest, like, this is just me being admittedly, Mahomes annoyed me until this game. Like, I was just bothered by, and it might be just like the way the media treats him, the way any commentator treats him. Like, I think it's just, and I don't think it's his fault. Like,
no, it's not his fault, but it's a problem.
Like, it just is, something about it always aggravated me. And then it almost like, then people are starting to downplay like what Brady did. And it's like, Mahomes just got here. Like, he hasn't been around as long as everyone acts. But this game, I'm like, dude, this guy just fucking loves football, and he will do whatever it takes to win. Like, I gained so much respect. You can see him wincing in pain. He could barely put pressure on it. By the end of the game, he's like walking on one foot to get to the sideline. Like, and he's fighting with everything. And everyone like talks so much shit. Like, oh, he doesn't have Tyreek Hill. It's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster. It's like, no, he figures it out. Then you see MVS looking like a stud. Like, he gets the job done, and it's incredible.
I do agree with your point, and it's like I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it, because for the majority of what people consume, and I am so guilty of this, is, you know, we consume the big shows on ESPN, sometimes like NFL Network, and you consume the commentary from games. The way that people talk about Patrick Mahomes really bothers me. Chris Collinsworth specifically bothers me. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I totally understand he's the best quarterback in the league right now. I agree with you. But it's like, you're right. They do think they people are already like calling him the GOAT over Brady. Like he's won, like they're on their way to 2, and it's like they can't keep this squad together forever. Yes, he's fucking fantastic, but you're putting your cart way before your horse here, and it is really annoying. Like you are so spot on. It's so fucking annoying the way that they baby the shit out of him sometimes on the broadcast. And you're right, it's not his fault. But because they are all so fucking obsessed with him and in love with him and just whatever, it makes me hate him. And so do Brittany and Jackson. I'm sorry, but they do. And it's like, I think Patrick Mahomes is funny. I think he's great. He's the best player in the league right now, in my opinion. But the way that like his family and people talk about him makes him the least likable person.
He's just not likable. But then like you hear him do stuff and you're like, you're really not that bad, which
no.
The reason I dislike you is because of something totally different. Like,
yeah.
And that's a shame that that's happening right now. Like, we can't just like and part of that is because the quarterback play across the league is just not great right now. Like it's some of the worst that we've seen probably in our life. It's just not good, like across the board. But like he's a great and I know that. And it's also me not like downplaying how fantastic he is, because I very much recognize that he is going to be a Hall of Famer. Like,
oh my God, he already is. Yeah.
Like he is one, right? But it's like, God, the way that everyone talks about him, it's like enough is enough. And then fans start getting whiny. Like, you'll know this from your own family. It's like, we want the next Patrick Mahomes. Nah, like, shut up. You can't get one of those because there's only one. Like,
yeah. Well, it's also like, I will say Brittany Mahomes Cancun in 3 was funny.
It was funny. It was funny.
It was funny. But like I loved him before she ever started talking or existed on the internet. Like, do you remember when he like first got drafted and that whole thing about him and ketchup went around?
Yes.
That was awesome.
And you're like, you're so likable.
That was awesome.
Who like, gave your wife a camera?
Or your brother?
Oh my God, Jackson.
The video of them celebrating after this game is just like, and they were so quiet all season, and I started to like him again. You know, I was like, good for him. You got them to shut up, you know, whatever. Like, I don't care what it is. And I hate to be a woman who's bashing women, but I'm sorry, she sucks.
She does suck. She really does. And the thing is like, and I shouldn't assume this, but it just like feels like she's well aware of it, and now she's just feeding into it. Like, it's not, she has no self-awareness to be like, oh, and you don't need to like yell that loud. Like, I feel like there's ways to support someone without like it being.
The champagne is what sent me over the edge.
It's just inappropriate. And it's like she has this, that gave me such like I'm better than you vibes. And I just don't fuck with that ever. Like, we are all people. We're all at the same level. Like, I don't give
whether you have a kid or not. Like,
we're all people. Do not spray champagne on people. Who do you think?
No, and it's like, I love the people who were like, well, if your team won, you would be like, you would consent to champagne being sprayed on you. I was like, it was 9 degrees. No.
No, I definitely would not. I don't care how happy I am. No.
Especially because like I wear so much vintage gear to Jags games and stuff. I'd kill someone. I'd kill someone.
I'm pissed.
But yeah, like when he was like little ketchup boy up on the scene, I loved him.
We love ketchup boy. We
love ketchup boy. So a lot of the other conversation surrounding this game was, I mean, you know what? The refereeing, a lot of the conversation around the postseason has been refereeing, but I will go out. I don't even know if this is going out on a limb, but I will say the entire season, the refereeing was absolute fucking dog shit from this league. Piss poor. I don't feel like they did anything to fix it, and it felt like it got worse as the season went on. And it did, in fact, ruin a lot of people's seasons, and I'm not going to pretend like it didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, 100%. And then it's like, you look at this game, right? And I do think that the officiating was like mind blowing. It gets you to a point where you can turn into one of those people. Like, for a second, I was like, oh my God, all these crazy people are right. The NFL is rigged. They're right. There are like, you get to a point where like, oh my God, is this actually like scripted? Because it's starting to feel that way. The Bengals had multiple opportunities that they did not take.
Yep.
100%. They still lost that game with or without some of those.
Agree. Yes.
But
that last call was tough.
I know.
It's just like, I get that you can look back at all of these missed opportunities, but I don't think it takes away the sting of your season ending on a call like that. Do I think you know, in a I don't know. I don't know,
I don't
dude.
know
Like,
though. Some
I
of
don't
them,
know.
some of them were like, and that was, I think that was the first game that it was so many. Like there were like 4 really bad game-changing calls. And I can only recall like from the Giants, like from my fandom, like I can probably name like on like one hand all the calls I can be like, we lost this game because of the officiating. Like there hasn't been many, but to have like 4 in one game is fucking crazy. Like
Yeah.
that's, I feel bad. And the Bengals shouldn't have talked so much though. Like just you guys should have just shut up.
The Burrowhead stuff was
It was too
wild.
much. It's getting corny a little bit.
It is. Travis Kelce screaming after like the game was also corny though.
And I agree. I think that everyone's thinking that that was so fun. I actually don't find that funny. I think it's way cooler to just be like, you can do like a subtle comment, but not.
Yeah.
Like,
He just kept going and it's like disrespectful to the broadcast crew and like the people trying to like to consume that content at home. And it's like, if you're being interviewed, sure, do whatever. But like when he was walking in front of Patrick Mahomes getting interviewed, and then when they were up on stage and he decided to like scream into the microphone and stuff, it's like you're just being obnoxious for the sake of being obnoxious.
he also like one, like you're coming off as if, did you go and chug a handle before you like started? Like he was acting almost like that's like what a drunk guy does. It's like that behavior was just like totally just out of pocket from, like, I get it, it's funny, like I definitely would have taken a jab too, but again, there's a way to do that. What is Patrick Mahomes just surrounded by people that want to scream? Like
I don't know.
You need to blink if you're in, like need help.
Yeah. And it's like you and I are both the most pro like spicy media people ever. Like I wish people would swear on broadcast. I wish they'd keep the nats the same and not cut things. Like sports are sports, whether how you consume them, whatever. But like when you grab the microphone and you scream Burrowhead my ass, it's just kind of like, at least when you turn on certain things, it's I don't know. It felt disrespectful to the crew. It felt annoying. It felt like boy pick me vibes. I don't know.
And also I'm not gonna get over the fact. Do you remember when that the new stuff came out that like he used to like make his girlfriend like pay for every like half of dinners and like half of the rent and half of everything, and like she was
a teacher.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm here to like split things, but like also you're and not that you shouldn't. I'm all about like being in like pay for yourself, do what, but like to some extent, it's like I mean, like she doesn't need to split the bill every 20.
No, well, like the thing that pissed me off about that, and I don't know this to be true, I don't know the relationship, I don't know anything. It's just based off of what I heard, and if what I heard is true, and you know, everything you read on the internet is 100% fact. Yeah. I did read that she was like a teacher and she broke up with him because he was expecting her to pay for like vacations and dinners and like stuff like that he wanted to do because he could afford it. And she obviously couldn't. And it's like, if you wanted to like go to fucking Waffle House at the movies and like something like that, I'm 1000%, if I'm a teacher, to share things with you, fine. But if you're an NFL player and you want to go to fucking Nobu and Turks and Caicos on the weekends, no. Sorry, why are you dating me?
Find someone that can afford that stuff then, that's at the same like pay grade as you.
100%.
Like, a level that doesn't, and it's like fine for your partner to make like more money than you to make less, but then like you should be splitting things like 40, 60, 70, 30, whatever like the deal is. I don't know. I just think that's not.
Yeah, 100%. Like, and if it's true that she broke up with him for that, good for fucking her.
Years, yeah.
Yeah, like good for her. But like I wish that I had more to say about Kansas City. It just felt like every single time something went in their favor, it immediately just like something made it fall flat, and they got so deflated that they just, when it came down to like make plays when they had to on like third downs or whatever, they just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I lean Kansas City for the Super Bowl. Like I do, which is so shocking because I feel like I have been so low on Patrick Mahomes just because of everything that we just talked about, which is so stupid. But their injuries really definitely are a problem. And I think the Eagles are a team where like they're going to lean into that, which I don't love.
Yeah.
Like, they're the team that's like, oh, your ankle's hurting you.
Yeah. Let me, step on it in the pile.
Exactly.
I love the Dirty Birds.
You do. God,
I do.
I mean, straight up cannot though.
I know you can't. I'm cheering for the Eagles in the Super Bowl, but I think the Chiefs are going to win. I just love the city of Philadelphia, and I think their fans are just so funny. Did you see the girl who was like jumping on like some sort of structure and like fell and broke her neck doing it because it like fell down? So like I don't think she broke her neck. I don't know, but she was in like like something very tragic happened to her neck, and she was like in a brace because she was like going too crazy.
Okay, I'll tell you because I went to the link for the Giants Eagles game.
I've been to the link. It's wild.
That was the first time I had been there, and I think part of it, like I forgot my Giants jacket that I usually wear at a game, so I think that this saved me a little bit. As I had to walk to Macy's, and the only jacket I could buy was like a black one, which was fine. I had a really good time. Like even everyone that knew I was a Giants fan was super nice to me. Like I did not. It was fun. Like, and they have a nice stadium. Like, definitely. Was there people like talking shit? Absolutely. But you're gonna get that in most stadiums.
Anywhere.
So I like where I draw the line is like if people are with children, like that's where I don't think it's cool.
I think the intimidation is where I draw the line. If you try to like intimidate me with your fandom, that's where I'm like, you're fucked up.
Yeah, I don't need you. I agree. Or when it starts coming down like very like degrading, I'm like, we need to chill out. We're both like sports.
Name 5 players from the 1984 Giants team, Stephanie.
What was Eli's cousin's aunt's mom's sister's brother? Like, I don't
name 5 brothers.
Yeah, like, like I'm done with that. But I will say I had a good time in Philadelphia, so I can't talk too much shit. I do get. And they've been good too. Like when you're
fucking love Philly. It's like one of my favorite cities. People hate it, but I fucking ride with Philly.
I had a really good time there, and I was like really upset because I was expecting to go there and be like, this is gonna be awful. But I like had a good time, and I always had to have a good time in Philly. Like I used to go there. Yeah. It is a kind of
it's awesome. It's so fun. It's so fun. That's why I didn't go to Kansas City though, is because 1, the weather was disgusting. 2, I felt like we were gonna lose. And 3, even if I felt like we were going to lose, I've traveled thousands of miles across the country multiple times to watch the Jaguars fucking blow wiener. But like if it were somewhere fun, like if I were going to LA or Vegas or New York or like something like that, fine. I'm not going to get on a flight, pay for a flight, pay for a hotel room, pay for tickets to go eat shitty barbecue in Kansas City. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. And they do have some good barbecue. I will say their barbecue's good. Okay. But like
I've never been there. I just found out like and garbage. I swear to God that I am like I would consider myself like a decently smart. I didn't know that was in fucking Missouri at all until like recently.
Yeah, they really think that's where they get you. Was it my tweet that I was like, you
were the one. You're the wait, hold on. I totally forgot. You're the reason I figured that out too. Had you not tweeted that, I would have had no fucking idea. Here I am. I would have been like booking a flight to like wherever and then being like, what the fuck is going on?
Kansas City, Kansas. That's what people kept saying too. They were like, well, there is a Kansas City, Kansas. And I was like, yeah, but the Kansas City Chiefs play in fucking Missouri, you weirdos.
So weird. It's bizarre and they trick you. And I don't love that.
It's giving the Iceland, Greenland thing for me.
Yes, it is. Very much so. And that's also bullshit. Both are bullshit. Just let things just make sense. Like it's something complicated as.
I think I might send a strongly worded email to get the names of Iceland and Greenland switched to what they should be.
I'll sign off on it too because I'm like all in support of that. Like and it's like some things that like live rent free in your head for no reason. Like I think about it a lot.
Wait, okay, this is so fucking random, and I swear to God, I'm not high yet. Have you seen that they're like cloning woolly mammoths?
Yeah, but like yes, kind of. Saw it and I didn't have enough time to like look into this because
I did.
I think I was high, but I
know all about it.
They're really doing that?
Okay, so how they're doing it. All right, I'm so sorry if you did not sign up for the National Geographic episode of Saturdays and Seltzers, but I'm doing it.
This is like
So I watched like a fucking 30-minute deep dive of this shit last night because I was so stoned. So what they're doing is they have woolly mammoth DNA. And what they're going to do is they're going to use this DNA with elephant DNA. They're like there's like some type of elephant. I can't remember what type of elephant it is that is like the closest relative to woolly mammoths. Okay. So what they're doing is they're basically making a petri dish baby of this woolly mammoth DNA. and taking the embryo and placing it in this elephant. And then I think that like the like the pregnancy cycle of an elephant is like 18 months or something like that. So after 18 months, this elephant will give birth to this mammoth embryo.
Okay, and also on top of this, like, is no one worried that like science is getting like way too advanced? Like,
well,
what?
my thing is like,
why do we need one? Why do we need
this project was like $1 billion project that was approved. Do you know what we could do with $1 billion as society?
Of this stuff? Who decided that?
Like, how is this going to affect like ecosystems and stuff too? Because they're not only doing it with mammoths, they're doing it with dodo birds.
But for again, like what reason? Like,
why
are we like, you want them to like roam again?
Yeah, and yeah, you're just gonna put them in Siberia? I don't know.
And do like I just want to know for what we need to stop doing things that just to do them.
I think the purpose is so that like, you know how like because of like all of this climate change stuff, there's all of these species that are going extinct that are like vital to certain ecosystems. I think it's kind of like a trial system project for like figuring that kind of stuff out just in case something were to happen. But it's like, what, like I can't even like as a human think like what would the equivalent be of like us like a fucking like this elephant is about to give birth to a mammoth.
Like, and also,
is this consensual?
Yeah, did you ask this was the right questions they should be asking?
Thank you.
Did you ask the elephant? Maybe the elephant doesn't want to do that. Also, like, should we be focusing on maybe our own species? Not to be mean, like love animals to death, but like, do we need to bring species back?
I don't know, dude. Also, like, I'm pretty sure woolly mammoths like roamed in like North America, dude.
Are we just gonna like let them? What? But what's the plan once we have the woolly mammoth?
Yeah, fuck it. I think that we should have I'm pro free range woolly mammoth.
I think it'd be sweet. Like,
let's get back in the olden days.
See more wildlife. Like, I want to see more roaming species.
I want a woolly mammoth traffic jam like geese when they're crossing the road.
That would, can you imagine?
Yeah, I can.
Something awesome. Like, I need more. Maybe I do. Maybe you're right. I'm actually all for it. Where can I donate?
We're a pro mammoth podcast.
A pro mammoth podcast.
I don't really know how we got here, but I did have a couple other questions. Before we get into like some closing stuff. Do you have any free agency hot takes on anyone? And what do you want the Giants to do in the offseason? I know the draft is far away. I won't even talk about the draft, but like, do you have any free agency hot takes? And what do you want from your G-men?
Yeah, I have this random, which maybe you won't love this one. I'm like getting weird vibes with DeAndre.
If you're going to say Marvin Jones, bye. See ya. Love you. Yeah. Thanks for the help. See ya.
I think that the Falcons are a very interesting team to look at for DeAndre Hopkins. Just keep that in mind. That's like my one blanket statement that I just want to make is Saquon Barkley is going to be a Giant next year, no matter how much everyone wants to like waste their like air. And even if the Giants overpay for it, it's just like gonna happen.
I think it's gonna be the Aaron Judge thing, like the Yankees like kind of like let people think that he was gonna go somewhere else. For the drama and the New York media, I agree with you. They will do the same thing.
He's going to come like. There is no, I don't remember an athlete saying I want to be a Giant for life more than Saquon Barkley. Like, I don't know anyone that's ever said it to this extent. And like, you think about Le'Veon Bell and what happened with him, like Saquon's going to get franchise tagged. Then they're going to come up with some type of deal that works. And then they're going to pay Daniel Jones and then they're going to stay together. The guys are literally, it's just, that's what's going to happen.
They're so cute.
It's cute. Like, I like that they love each other. I don't know what it is. Like, one's an all-star and like one's kind of like, he's good, but he's not like, it's just funny that they're such good friends, honestly.
I know. Are you happy that Daniel Jones kind of like earned his keep, or are you wishing that you guys were, flirting with somebody else or the draft? Or I mean, you are flirting with the draft to a degree, but I feel he did earn his keep. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, fucking damn it, dude, because you always want that, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, what I think Trevor Lawrence could become, and some of these other young guys. But it's just like, yeah.
I think they're opening themselves up. Like, one thing that people don't understand is like the quarterback salary market. And I think it's like really misunderstood. Everyone is like shitting their pants about how much Daniel Jones might get paid without realizing that guys like Ryan Tannehill gets paid $29.5
Kirk
million.
Cousins was the most paid quarterback in the NFL at one point, people.
You should see Jared Goff's contract. You should see Carson Wentz makes $32 million a year. If they pay Daniel Jones 35 to 39 million a year, it's really not that serious. Like, everyone needs to chill out. It's genuinely just,
I think that's a bit of an overpay, but I think they're going to have to overpay a little bit because he earned it.
Yeah. And that sucks. And that's their fault for not, I mean, it's not their fault because they couldn't at the time pick up his 5th-year option. And I totally get that. But I think they're in a spot where if they construct the contract right, if you do something where like you can get out of it after X amount of years, maybe you have a guy that next year they do draft a quarterback, or maybe they draft a project this year. They might end up doing that. It wouldn't surprise me.
I think you have to, because who's his backup next season?
I think that they'll probably, I thought Tyrod got a 2-year. He might only have a 1-year deal. I think they'll probably keep Tyrod there. I think they probably draft someone like, even if it's
draft.
Oh my God, what's his name from TCU? Like, he feels,
I don't know, the redhead.
Doug.
It's not Hendon Hooker.
Duggan. What's his Duggar?
Max Duggan.
Yes. I had like a night sweats dream that we drafted him, so it probably is going to happen. If they draft someone like that, okay, cool. Let's see what happens. Ideally, I think they put themselves in a spot where like next year we probably will not have as good of a record. We got everything kind of aligned this year for them to be in the situation that they were. Our draft positions definitely knocked us out, but we have so many holes. Like, that defense needs a lot of effing help, and they literally need a wide receiver 1. So that first pick in the draft is either going to go to like, it probably will end up being a wide receiver.
A lot of people are looking for receivers in this draft. It's that's like the hot commodity.
It is. And honestly, because the free agency, like the class right now is like not good.
It's a weird year for free agency. Yeah. What would you want, Marvin Jones?
You know what's crazy is I wanted Marvin Jones. When was that? Like a year ago. No, when because Dave Gettleman had ties with him for a little bit, and I really thought that we were gonna get him for a while. But now it's like, just like Eli Manning, like when they brought over Plaxico, like Daniel Jones just like needs I always tell people, my like ongoing joke is like, I don't have daddy problems, I have Plaxico problems. Like, I was like and I used to say that drunk at the bar in college. Like, I'd be like, oh no, I don't have daddy problems, I have Plaxico problems, whatever. But we need a real wide receiver 1. Like, Kenny Golladay is the most disappointing thing, and I've been on the record and said I never wanted him, like, at all. Like, I just didn't. I was, oh my God, worst day of my life is when we signed him. But we need a real wide receiver 1, and I would actually rather bring in a vet and then draft someone. Like, I don't want to take our chances. I want to bring in like a
Do you guys think you're not a good spot for DeAndre? That's what I was gonna say, is like, when you're a young millionaire, like, there's a few places that you want to be. And he does have a lot of decision because of his skill level of where he will be. It's not like a where can I get a contract? It's like, there's maybe 4 or 5 teams realistically who don't need him. And so you look at LA, you look at Miami, you look at the New York teams, you look at maybe Dallas and Atlanta, and it's like, you are one of those people. And I feel as though like you need, look at like Tua Tagovailoa and like his receivers. They fucking take so much work off of his plate that you need to do that for Daniel Jones.
And that's what he needs. And the thing is, like, when going back to the year that Daniel Jones was even drafted, not to be like story time, but there was a lot of cons about him. He got drafted. It's funny because if Daniel Jones got drafted in the 2nd round, I actually think that there wouldn't be as much negative talk about him. I think that his one pro was that he had a great deep ball. He has the best wide receiver that he has ever played with is Sterling Shepard, and debatably Golden Tate at the end of his career. Like, just get him a guy.
Somebody.
Like, I don't care. Like, I would be all in. I see Giants fans complain.
You could honestly say Saquon at wide receiver.
Dude, yeah, right? Like, go get T. Higgins. Like, I don't care. Like,
T. Higgins would be great.
Yeah, go get someone that's actually a real, like, it's been so long since we've had a true wide receiver 1. Like, you just need weapons. Like, even Trevor, right? Like, look at the weapons that he got this year. And I don't think that it was any knock to Trevor's talent last year, but now you give him, like, show us what you have, Trevor. And he's like, okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, last year was a lot of like the Urban Meyer issue. Having Doug Peterson helped, having receivers helped. Now, if he can fix his turnover problem, chef's kiss, we're here, boys. Like, we're out here, fuck around and find out.
And he's exactly where you would want him to be, too.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's
you
okay.
Need 3 years.
Like,
3 years,
cool.
you cannot judge a quarterback for 3 years 100%. Fully. You
and
can't.
Like people like don't realize, like, because Daniel Jones for so long, it was like the turnover problem. But what they fail to look at is, like, you look at his stats, like, he has every single year slowly fixed it until this year.
He's a scrambler, dude.
He does not now. He doesn't turn the ball over at all. Like, he's getting smarter. And I think a lot of that is like Brian Dable. And now places like Jacksonville, places like the New York Giants, again, they're appealing to free agents. Like, free agents actually want to go there. And it's been years since I could say that.
I have to say this, and I know it's a sensitive subject. Thank you for Evan Engram.
You're welcome. It's not great. And it's so funny because he quote tweeted me, like,
I know. That's why I was like, I know this is sensitive.
It's so funny because, like, if he actually like looked at, like, if he actually like consumed any of my like real content other than like what the announcers are. First of all, I don't think he realizes the announcer said that on TV. What I tweeted, like, that was that was not a authentic, genuine fucking post. I literally peeled from someone else's mouth. But like, if he actually consumed it, like, I'm pumped for Evan. Like, I hate that it didn't work out. I'm like fucking jealous that you guys pull it out, because he was fantastic his rookie year. And
now he wants to be in Jacksonville. And like nobody's wanted to be in Jacksonville for a long time.
Right. And that's such a good feeling. Like, you're in a good spot where it's like, when there is free agency battles, like, you can win those. You can actually start whining, dining guys and like getting them to come to Jacksonville, getting them to want to be on the Giants. Like, it's been a really long time to be able to say that. Doug Peterson has done a fantastic job. Like, he probably is not paid enough. Like, you look at Sean Payton, like, I don't know what the difference is.
Wild. That was the other news this week that I forgot to bring up.
I think it's probably going to end up being a massive overpay. And what people don't realize is someone like Doug Peterson, he also won a Super Bowl. Like, why are we? I don't know if it's because Sean
with fucking Nick Foles.
Yeah, I don't know why.
And Carson Wentz.
It's crazy to me that, like, Sean Payton gets so much hype that I actually don't think Doug Peterson got enough hype.
No,
I don't either. I was all in. I had Jacksonville to win the AFC South. Like, I was all in on this team because I believed in like the talent that was there and a real coach that could do that.
Yeah, I was like, that's the thing, is like, I got a little bit of heat for like my response to Byron Leftwich not being hired. And I'm glad at this point that he wasn't. But it's like, Doug at the time had just taken a year off of football. Yeah. He hadn't made it known to the media why. But when you're in the media and someone takes a year off without knowing why, it's a red flag. For any reason, I'm sorry if that's harsh, but it's true. And the fan base had just been so sold on Byron Leftwich, and they didn't even kind of put blood in the water that Doug Peterson was someone that they were going after, to the point where like one of our like insider guys tweeted that Byron had been hired and everyone lost their shit. And then 6 hours later, Doug Peterson was our head coach. And it's like, for a city that had just been through everything that it had been through with Urban Meyer and back-to-back first picks and like whatever, it just like, it felt like the fucking sky was falling for a minute. And it's not that I didn't think he was a good coach, but it's just like, we see some of these other guys get so much fucking hype. Do I think that Sean Payton is a great coach? Yes. Do I think that he also hid behind good coordinators and Drew Brees? Yes. Do I think that he can be better than fucking Nathaniel Hackett in Denver? I think 2 sticks of bread and a fucking whatever could be better than him there. Like, it just wasn't a fit. It's not that he's not a good coordinator. It just didn't work for him. And I think that they'll be fine. And by fine, I mean, they'll be right over 500 with Sean Payton. But it's like, I don't expect the Doug Peterson turnaround that we had, just because I don't know. Like, it's Russell Wilson's hard-headedness and not having like someone like Trevor Lawrence, who's young and moldable and shapeable, to buy into your system.
It's so different. And what people fail to realize, and I talked about this on like my show today, is the signs were there with Russell Wilson his last year with Seattle. And for some reason, we all ignore this. And I got so much shit for this. Like, he was having a hard time finding fucking Metcalf. And then you put him in a brand new system. And because Tom Brady was able to go somewhere and win a Super Bowl, because Matt Stafford was able to go somewhere and win a Super Bowl, all of a sudden it's like, we're going to put Russell somewhere new with Nathaniel Hackett, who was only brought there, I don't care if no one wants to admit it, to get Aaron Rodgers, and that's not who you got. And Russell seems like a very difficult person to have in a locker room.
Yeah, I've said this on this show before, and I'm not sure if you heard this, but Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch were on a show talking about, all that stuff, how they couldn't have his fucking phone number. They had to call him through his agent.
Imagine.
Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman. It's not like the fucking third string cornerback who wants your phone number.
It's not like the new rookie that got drafted in the 6th. Like, we're talking about what kind of
Hall of Famers.
That's like me telling the guys that work for me, here's my assistant to be able to contact me to get things done. What kind of work environment is that? Oh God. And that irritates me more than anything.
Me
some
too.
of that, a lot of it, I won't even say some, a lot of it was definitely Nathaniel Hackett. But I think that Broncos fans are a little bit I don't think this is going to be what you thought going into this past year. It's still not going to be this.
It's not going to be an overnight fix. No,
it's not. There's a lot of things there. And now you just gave up draft capital for a coach after you just gave up all this draft capital to get Russell Wilson and to come off this season that wasn't that
They're
great.
fucked for a long time.
And you saw them losing you're losing the locker room there. Russ is losing. People are yelling at each other on the sidelines. It's just not.
That flight would have sent me over the edge.
Oh my God, I would have punched him in the literal face, I think.
The fact that the Jags lost to them after that was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And then they didn't take the bye after, which is fine. I do prefer when they take the bye after the London game, but I just was miserable.
I can't. It's such a, I don't know. They were Russell was just such an irritating presence.
Figure. Yes. So last question for you before we move into our closing stuff. Super Bowl pick and score. And do you have any bets? I know it's still a week away. Well, a little over a week, but do you have any bets and who's your pick and score?
Yes. Okay. So I am going to pick Kansas City. I'd like this game to be I can't believe we still haven't gotten overtime in the playoffs. I just feel like it's coming. I want it to come very badly. It probably won't this game. This game is probably going to be a 27-24 type game, maybe.
I like that
vibe. I really like right now to take any player other than the quarterback to throw a touchdown. Things get very weird in these games, especially if Mahomes is hurting a little bit. That's one thing I've really looked at so far. Nothing crazy.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little ways away. Things will change.
He's probably due for an anytime touchdown type thing.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. I like it. So pop culture shit of the week is just some pop culture news that you found sort of interesting this week. I had two kind of shit talking things. So I added one to my actual shit talk and one to my pop culture thing. Obviously, you know who Connor McDavid is.
Yes.
So his girlfriend's name is Lauren Kyle, and they recently had that whole cheating scandal, whatever. Yes. I guess for the All-Star break, they went on vacation, and his girlfriend posted the literal worst photoshopped photo of them in another.
Take it down because I was trying to look for it.
Well, so I saw it the other day. No, it's right here. Maybe. Yes. I'm gonna send it to you right now. And you got to look at her arm and the background of her dress and stuff. And she turned the comments off because people were roasting her. A bunch of people made TikToks, tweets, all this stuff. And it's just so bad. And she didn't even take it down. The way that the trees and shit are bending. And, oh my God, it's just so bad.
And what's crazy is because doesn't she, oh my God, her wrist, honey, no one, are you Gumby?
It's just kind of sad. I hate that girls feel the need to do this.
I know. And what is that? What is that? I'm hoping that we move more towards just this. Let's just be a little bit more natural than having
everyone whitens their teeth. Everyone or a pimple or whatever. But there's a difference between that and
in your body.
Yes. And it's I just hate that she left it up. And it's sad. And she turned comments off for people who don't I don't know. It's just really Yeah.
And it's hard because you put it in like a carousel with like other pictures and they so clearly are different.
Yeah. So it's like I feel so bad for her, like just because of everything that she's been going through lately. But it's like when the Kardashians are so blatant about it, and it's like, how do you not notice this before you put it anywhere?
Like no one is like saying, oh, maybe let's like not do that. I don't know.
I know. I hate that like people feel the need to do it, but it's still.
It's icky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Your pop culture.
What the hell is going on with this Jeffree Star thing? Like, do we?
I'm so glad you brought this up. Okay. So if you live under a rock, Jeffree Star, I guess, is like apparently fucking an NFL player in Wyoming who's like 6'6" and wears Louis Vuitton. I don't think that it's anyone serious at all because Jeffree would never. He just wants like to stir shit.
Literally, he wants like the literal attention of this. Like I think it's got to be someone that like we're not talking like fourth string. Like this is someone that's probably a name that people would recognize, but not like everyone's being super dramatic about some of the people that they're accusing of this.
Justin Herbert. It is.
I mean, like
literally in surgery.
Not just in surgery. You're not even paying attention to any type of news if you think that. But
it's the Vans and the orange Louis Vuitton coat for me that I'm like
questions. And then there's the gun on the counter, which I guess like, and I'm like, we're all worried about who this is, but also there's just like this massive gun in
and the silencer on it is like massive.
Crazy. But then I don't know, like it's so funny. I haven't said this like online, but like in the caption, it's like something about like great in the bed or whatever, but maybe it's like a bed thing. I don't know. Like I think it might be like it feels like a very like kink thing a little bit.
I'm also almost like, is this just some random rich dude in Wyoming that he was like, you could pass as an NFL player? Like, let's fuck with the internet.
Because he's like 6'6" and like does look like, yeah. I'm not like, I'm just not really buying that it's like someone. It feels very like attention grabbing type thing.
Agree. It's definitely nobody important. I just can't think of anyone who's 6'6" in the NFL or even like on like a prominent like coach or something like that would literally wear Vans and orange Louis Vuitton.
And it feels like, was the orange like an attempt to be like he's on the Bengals? Like, because it was kind of a sad attempt.
No, because it was before the Bengals lost out, right?
It was?
Yeah, I think it was like the day before, like last Sunday.
I don't know. It's just not. I don't think it's as big of a deal as.
I think Jeffree's just fucking with us for the fuck of it.
Of course, which is like kind of funny, but
yeah, go off. Our tea party segment, just to talk some shit. The Joey Bosa Philly fan fight was fucking wild. First of all, I hated him because I knew he was a douchebag already. The way that he acted in the Jacksonville game was disgusting. Like he's always just kind of been like a douchebag, but I never hated his guts. The way that first of all, I loved the like Bosa, like that shit was so funny. The fact that he was drinking a cherry Coke Bud Light seltzer, why? And then like just the way that he was speaking to them is so gross. And like the way that he assumed that like nobody outside of like pro athletes can make money is just gross.
It's so funny because this was the second I saw this, like this is exactly what I wanted to talk about, honestly. Yeah, so it's so funny the guy back is like, so am I. Like
yes.
It's just so funny because he definitely like, is everyone below you? And I think that we've seen this out of him, like exactly like the Jacksonville game. I was trying to think which game it was that he was being like, I mean, you clearly have like some type of like anger. Something is going on there, like with this mentality that you're so much better. Like you think you're the only one that can make what does he say? I'm fucking rich or something.
Yeah, he's like, you broke bitch. I'm rich. Like I can afford it. Okay, like who cares? The one thing that pissed me off more than any of that, and yes, that's fucking vile, was I'm sorry, I haven't heard someone use a slang term for being gay, like using butt buddies since like middle school.
He said that?
Yeah, he was like, are you taking a video on Snapchat for your fucking butt buddies?
Yeah, no. And it's like very, yeah, like everything, his aura is very much like, I am better than everyone else. And I just don't, again, like another one of those like vibes where I don't love that.
I just want to grab him by that stupid ponytail.
And it's so funny because you're so bothered that in the game, you're still like participating and going back and forth with these guys. Like, chill out.
It's just so gross. But I do think that they were funny. Like, they were funny. Because, like, they weren't even saying anything. They were just saying Bosa. And then he was, like, giving them a hard time. And they were like, oh, you know, you're not playing this week. And, like, he just decided to get all pissy. Like, obviously, you're not playing this week.
Yeah, no, it was not just, I don't know. Did you see? Okay, so my other thing I wanted to bring up for this part was, do you see all this like Kayvon Thibodeau, which you probably are on the side where you think he's very annoying, and that's fine. But I think Kayvon Thibodeau is actually hilarious. Like, I think I
didn't know he was controversial. Like,
okay,
I remember some of his stuff from the draft, like him like making jokes and stuff, but I didn't really know he was like controversial.
Okay, so this weekend, it was like a whole thing on Sunday where he tweeted something which was dumb. Like, it was about like how like maybe we could have beat the 40. I don't even know what the tweet was. It's fine. But let's go back to the draft though. He made it very clear, like he did not really follow the NFL as like a kid. Like, it was always like football was just his thing, didn't know NFL.
I do remember this.
So then he gets into that like whatever happens where he's doing the Snow Angels next to Nick Foles, and then he says he doesn't know who Jeff Saturday is, which is low-key like kind of funny, but also he means it. Like, he's not, this is
very he totally means it.
So then he tweets out like something about like not like they could have, maybe we were better than the 49ers, which is dumb. But then Joe Staley quote tweets it and is like, you're a flashy player who gets bodied by average tacklers. Don't let the New York media affect you too much. And he quote tweeted it and was like, who are you? Which is like hilarious because now this is the second Hall of Famer that he was like, I don't know who you are. And then it got to the point where like Michael Strahan then gets involved and is like, you also had he quote tweets Joe now and is like, you also had a great career and should be proud. Don't go after a rookie and my kicker, because he goes after freaking Lawrence Tynes, which is crazy. Like, I don't know if they were all drunk or what was going on, but
I think that's funny. That like isn't offensive.
And then, but my favorite part of it, which is so funny, is Kayvon then tweets, like someone, I think one of the guys on Miami was like, KT is so funny, bro. And he quote tweets it and he's like, I don't know, these old people just need to leave me alone, which is so hilarious.
That's so funny. No, that's not even offensive. That's actually fucking hilarious. He has a personality and some of these dudes need to be humbled. Like, I'm sorry, you can like that's the thing is people think that like football is just everyone's life, always has been, whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm a like some people just don't like take their jobs that seriously. Do you think like a marketing director like admires like the best marketing director to ever marketing direct?
No, literally never. And he even like, I think he tweeted too, like the same night, he's like, I don't care how famous you think you are. If I don't know you, I just don't know you. Like, it's not that deep, like, is the thing. Like, and everyone always gets so sensitive about that. But why would you expect a kid that's like born in, like, I bet he was born like 99, I don't even know. Maybe, honestly, probably younger than that. Why would he know a Hall of Famer that's like 50, 40 something years old now? Like, he wasn't born in like, it's not Tom Brady.
Dude, like Keenan Allen was playing wide receiver when this kid was in elementary school and now he's still on the same fucking team.
He admitted he like doesn't know NFL history. He always followed like college. So it's like, it was very different. And like they don't fucking know. But I thought him saying like, these old people need to leave me alone.
So good. So good. No, I'm pro. I fucking love that. That's good shit.
It. Yeah, I love it.
That's good shit. All right. Last segment is our tweets of the week. It can be something like a bonk that someone said to you, a funny tweet or a meme or whatever. Mine is none of those things.
Okay.
I, for some reason, just get like sad sometimes and want to see people's pets.
I love it. I love when you do this.
And so I just tweeted and I was like, timeline cleanse, drop a pet pic. And I got like hundreds of responses. So many dogs, so many turtles, so many everything. Travis Etienne tweeted me a picture of his doodle. I did not expect him to be a doodle guy. or have a dog, but props. I actually love Travis Etienne way more now. So that was fun. But yeah, that was like I should have been in my HLH, but like that was fire.
That is, see, I love that. And I think that I think it's weird that people like aren't pet people. Like imagine like not liking animals at all. Like even if I think like being a dog person is way cooler than anything else, like if you're a pet person still and like your vibe
I'm
is
a mammoth girl.
like that's cool. Yeah, exactly. Like that is all like as long as it's like snakes, now you're fucking being a little weird. And you can't like I don't really get down with that, but I'm all in on like anyone that has a pet and like any pet picture is just cute.
Yeah, I'm definitely in on the pet pics.
Okay.
What was your tweet of the week that stuck out?
Okay, so I got a DM, and last time I was on, we like did the DM thing, and it's so funny because and you'll probably know this better. We're like, you get a DM from someone probably like I have a DM from this person from August I did not see, but I happened to see it because they sent me a DM that I did see. So I got a DM that was like, would you want to watch this 10-inch dick on FaceTime for $250 in your Cash App every call? Smiley face. So then you scroll and the picture above it is a picture of him in the mirror from August in boxer briefs with like like what I mean, like what are we doing here?
All right.
$200 also?
Yeah, dude. I had a guy like message me something similar like last week. And he was like, if I send you $200, can I show you a blurry picture of my dick? Like, what?
But like, where I'm just like, I struggle to find like where the like what?
There is no line. I had a guy send me a full-on dick. Okay, so it wasn't even like a dick pic. It was like a dick and balls pic. So he's like sitting in a chair, like hanging over the chair. And he takes his phone and it's like from the bottom angle.
No.
So it's like below the balls and like the shaft is like sticking up like a shadow. And he's in his corporate t-shirt for the company he works for.
I mean, what are we doing here? Like, there has to be some kind of guidelines to this type.
There's just not. And like, I'm sorry, but like that should be illegal.
Like, I mean, it 100% should be. And also, like, why? I just don't believe in any way that like a dick pic or like, I don't know, like some of these messages, like, it's just not the way that you're like, what are you looking
Some
for?
of the things that men have said to me, I think I've said this on the show before, and this is very vulgar, but a guy from not even a business account, I will never forget his name. I'm not going to put his last name on here, but his name was Chip. And it was like when I was doing this like radio audition here, but he messaged me. I was like out getting drinks with my girlfriends. And he had said some like really nasty, nasty shit to me, but this one really stuck out to me. He goes, I want to fuck your drunken skull until you die or I die.
What? I mean, like, and I love the ones like, have you gotten one? I'm like trying to like process that. Like, where?
Oh, he also told me that he wanted to shove a black dildo so far up my ass it came out of my mouth.
I love the ones where they like involve their wife or their girlfriend, and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing here? Like,
is it like, do you dream about me being like the third and you're like
okay, it's like normalize threesome, whatever, but like I don't know about like this whole I've got ones where it's like my girlfriend would kill me if she knew I was messaging you, but
yes
I jerked off to you last night, and I'm like, okay, like I don't,
or the like my girlfriend's out of town, so I'm sending all of this now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So good. So good. My closing thought is that men are trash. What is yours? Do you have one? Or
I reiterate that, and that
perfect.
I wish I could like Mahomes more, but unfortunately.
Me too. I love you. Thanks so much for being on the show. Keep on sipping, y'all, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.